to another episode of our Ultimate Decades Challenge. We are in the year 1394B, and this is Beatrice McNally. She has a birthday where she is aging up to become an elder, and for that we have to roll the dice for her. She cannot roll, or she needs to roll, a number less than 9 to see if she can survive on a D20. If she rolls less than 9, then we can roll a D10 to find out how many number of years she will be able to survive with us. So we are going to be rolling the dice for her to see if she's going to be able to survive the death roll for her birthday for this year. So without further ado, let's go ahead and give the dice a roll and see if she can get less than 9 for her elder roll. So let's go ahead and roll the dice for her and see how she fares. So she gets a 16, which is a bad roll. She is unfortunately going to pass away. So we are going to pull up the wheel for teen to elder deaths and find out what it is that she is passing away from, and we will give that a spin. And according to the wheel, she has passed away from an infection. So I will update that information on the timeline, and we are going to go ahead and we are going to take Beatrice McNally away from this family. We do have several nuns in the monastery currently. It is really sad that we have to take one of them away. But that being said, this was a full household, so it does make room for others that want to kind of come into the household here. And Beatrice McNally was the oldest here in the nunnery. I do think Hardin McGrath here is, though, going to be pretty distraught over the loss of Beatrice McNally. I think he is probably going to take this death the hardest. As we know, he has lost a lot of people around him lately. I think he is probably going to start to wonder if maybe death follows him. I think he's lost his parents, then he lost Katya, and now Beatrice has died. And so I do think that Hardin's probably going to think to himself, what is the deal with all of this death that's around me? Does death follow me? And he's probably going to think to himself, am I cursed? And I think it's really going to hit him particularly hard. More so than the others. The nuns obviously will understand that Beatrice has just passed away because she was getting on up there in years, and they're not really necessarily going to think anything of it. But I think Hardin will take it pretty hard. Look at this little one Totten over here to spectate this. I don't know that that's necessarily a good thing. She doesn't even live in this household, but she's come over to witness this death as well. Probably not a good thing, but nonetheless, here she is. So we will go ahead and we will let the Grimm take Beatrice away, and then once he is finished with that, we will get her epitaph engraved, and we'll have one of the other nuns go ahead and take her over to the cemetery so that we can place her in her final resting place, that she can rest in peace with the rest of the family, because as we know, Beatrice McNally is part of the family, and she does deserve a plot in the Arundel Cemetery. So we will have her go on over and be placed there so that she can rest in peace for her final resting place there. So we are going to go ahead and engrave her epitaph here and put her years of birth and death on the tombstone. So let's go ahead and engrave this 1354 to 1394, and we will save that, and then let's go ahead and have one of the nuns take her over to her final resting place. Okay, we have arrived here in the cemetery. We are just going to go ahead and place Beatrice McNally down here in her final resting place, and then we are going to head over and see the next family that has a birthday and go ahead and age up our next sim and do the death roll. So let's go ahead and go see the next family. So we have here Drogo, and we are going to be aging him up. He is a teenager, but he is aging up to a young adult. And as we know, he is a vampire. So this is the last role that he has. And he will then be becoming immortal, and he won't be rolling any longer for birthdays. He will then only be experiencing the vampire hunts. So this is his last birthday age up. And for this, he can't roll for a young adult. He can't roll a 3. So we are going to go ahead and roll the dice for him and see how he fares. So let's go ahead and roll for Drogo. He rolls a 5, which is a successful roll. So we will go ahead and age him up now into a young adult.
Fry.
And Drogo has aged up. Let's go ahead and give him his aspiration. I think I will do for him, let's do fabulously wealthy maybe for him. I think I want to do fabulously wealthy for him. And then we are going to head over and see our next family that needs to do a birthday. So let's go ahead and head over to the next family. Okay, we have arrived here with Conrad Goodwell, and he is aging up to a teenager. We also need to roll to see if he's going to get married and how many children. So we are going to be rolling the dice to find out that information. He can't roll a 7. So let's go ahead and roll the dice and find out how he fares. So he is going to age up to a teen. He is getting married, and he is going to be having 5 children. So let's go ahead and age him up to a teenager, and then we will hop into Cass and give him his makeover. Happy birthday, Conrad. All right, so we have the traits here for gentle and loner, and we are going to go ahead and we're going to give him a foodie trait. I'm just going to go ahead and do the expert winemaker for him, and let's hop into Cass. Here in the Petechia home, we are going to be aging up Lena Petechia. She is aging up to a child and can't roll a 3 or a 9. So we are going to be giving the dice a roll for her to see how she fares and to see if she's going to be able to age up. She rolls a 7, which is a successful roll. She will be getting another 28 days on the calendar. So let's go ahead and age her up to a child, and then we will be hopping into Cass with her to give her her makeover. So I will update that on the timeline, and then we will be able to move forward with that. So happy birthday, Lena. Let's go ahead and age you up to a child now and give you your makeover in Cass. Well, where are you going, Lena? She's like, I'm going to go over here into this next room where I have plenty of room to spin around and do my birthday. Okay, you do that. So Lena has aged up. She has the trait of Leo, and she's also going to have the traits of comforting and child of the sun. We are going to give her the aspiration of, let's do mental. Let's do honor student. Actually, let's not do honor student. She doesn't go to school. So let's do a motor skill. Let's just do little explorer. And let's hop into cast with her and give her her makeover. We have arrived in the Idrissi home, and here in the Idrissi home we have the triplets that we need to age up to children. They also can't roll a 3 or a 9. We have Zusto and Albertino and Yaminia that are aging up. We are going to go ahead and start with Zusto first, and we will age Zusto up to a child, but we are going to just roll for all 3 of them simultaneously, but we will start with Zusto for aging up. But let's go ahead and roll the dice for all 3 and see how they fare. So again, they can't roll a 3 or a 9, and so let's roll the dice for them. It does look like all 3 of them have survived the age up process, which is fantastic. So let's go ahead and start with Zusto and age him up to a child. And then we will age up the other 2, and then we'll hop into cast with all 3 of them, and we will give them their makeovers. So he is a vegetarian, a Leo, and we are going to give him the aspiration of social butterfly. And let's go ahead and age up Albertino. So Albertino, let's age you up to a child now. He also will be a Leo. He's going to have the traits of
brilliant and daredevil.
But let's do for him also the little explorer, and for his aspiration. And then for Yaminia, let's go ahead and age her up, and we will get her aged up here. She also has the trait of a Leo, and she is self-conscious, and she is going to be a musical prodigy. And let's go ahead and jump into cast with them. over in the main household with the Arundels, we also need to celebrate Ulveva's birthday, but we're going to give that just a little bit of time. I am not quite sure exactly when she was born, so I'm not going to age her up right away. We are just going to continue on with the family. We're going to make sure everybody's needs are okay, and then probably when it gets a little bit later in the morning here, we will go ahead and we will be aging her up to a infant, because it is her birthday. She is going to be aging up to an infant. As we know, for infants, they don't have to roll, so she gets a free pass for that, which is going to be fantastic. So we will be seeing her age up and we'll be getting her makeover. But I am just going to go ahead and let everyone kind of take care of some of their needs here and let them just fiddle with whatever it is that they need to do. I do think that family overall is doing pretty well. Everyone seems to be pretty happy about the new baby, and they're doing really well in kind of tending to things here around the house. The garden's going pretty good. We've got our chickens and our animals, and things are doing well. I'm gonna get Can to come over and sell this painting because someone had started it and no one actually can finish it. So I think it's a possibility that maybe when Halima came over, she might have started this painting because no one in the family can actually finish it. So we're going to scrap this painting, and then I may get Can to go ahead and start a painting of her own. And I am going to get Xavier kind of working on some of his skills that he needs to work on. And I'm going to get, oh, she can't come out here and do the bees because she is grossed out. That's fine. I'm going to get her to come out and she can collect some eggs, and I'm going to get Xavier to come out and start tending to the garden because it does look like we need some weeds done. And it looks like maybe we need to evolve some things. So we'll evolve some of these plants and we will carry on with some of the gardening here. But overall, the garden is going well and things are doing well here on the farm. They are making some progress. We've got our honey that we have been making, our garden we've got growing. It would be nice for us to find some things that we can grow like more. I would like some more things, different options that we can grow. So I am hoping that at some point the trader will come by and we can purchase some things from the trader that we can potentially plant. So hopefully we'll be able to see the trader come by soon. I did put the trader post out so that the trader knows that we want the trader to come and sell things for us, and also that we can sell things to the trader because we have an abundance of honey and things like that that we have been collecting, because as we know, Can is constantly going and collecting the honey and processing it and filtering it and things like that. So we have an abundance of honey. I mean, she is obsessed with the honey, so she's constantly in there eating it, but she can't just live on honey alone. So we are going to be selling all of the honey to the trader once he comes, and I think that will help us come into a little bit more money as well. So as you can see, we do have Makena here. She is just going to spend a little bit of time with Ada. They're going to work on some of his skills with some flashcards here while Can gets some painting done. It looks like Xavier has headed off to go and probably do a little bit of hunting if I had to guess. We do need meat and things in the household. So I think he's probably headed off to go and get that taken care of for the family so that we have things here that we can use for family to be able to cook meals and things like that. I am going to, once she is done with Ada, have Makena get in there and get her cooking up some salted meat, and maybe she can make some things so that we can get some more of those meat, cheese, and bread platters made. Those are staple meals in this house because, as we know, they don't go off and they last for several days. And so I do want her to have the ingredients available to make those meals. Now, Can is going to sell the painting that she just made. I'm going to get her to breed another frog here. And maybe I can get her even doing a little bit of cross-stitching. It's been a little while since she has done a cross-stitch pattern, so I think that maybe we'll get her doing a little bit of cross-stitching and she can get her skill up in that. It looks like we have a blue egg. I'm going to go ahead and sell that. And then we will just continue on with allowing them to do what it is that they need to do. Once Xavier gets back from being out on his run into the forest, we'll probably go ahead and get ourselves ready to age up Ulveva so that we can see her become an infant, and that way everybody will be here and be able to participate in that. So that will be nice because, you know, I want everyone to kind of be here and be part of that. Obviously, everyone kind of can't really be part of it, but for story purposes, we'll say that they were. So she's going to come over here and make a little bit of salted meat. I'm also going to get her to make a little bit of cheese, and that way we have the ingredients that we need for those platters. Can's just upstairs playing a little bit. I told her to make the cross-stitching, but I guess she didn't really want to finish that. She must have pricked her finger, and she's like, yeah, I'm over it. So she's come upstairs just to play for a little while, and that's perfectly fine. We'll allow her to play for a bit. And then maybe we can obviously get her on downstairs at some point, and she can check for some more honey and even possibly go out and get herself some more frogs and things like that. I think maybe at some point we will have to get Makena to check on the baby, and we will need some laundry getting done. I know there's wet laundry hanging outside, so, oh, and it looks like there might even be laundry in the laundry bin over there. So we do need to do some chores here around the house. So yeah, we have to get ourselves some things done here in the house as far as chores go. So we will get some things kind of cleaned up around here. But Can's going to go out and she's going to sit with Ada. They're just going to have themselves a little bit of conversation. Ada's just grabbing himself a bite to eat, but he is having a chat with his sister. They have a pretty close relationship, even though there is pretty big age gap between the two of them. They do really get along. I guess they would kind of have to, considering they're the only two children in the house. But we are going to have her go out, and she tried to get a little bit of honey, and now I'm going to have her come over and see about getting some frogs. Hopefully she can catch some, but it doesn't look like she was successful in that. So she really struggles with catching frogs, Can does. I really hate that for her. So we did make some sea salt. We made some salted meat. She is currently, I think, making some cheese. Yes, she is making some cheese. So she's made a bunch of different things for the platter that she needs to make, which is fantastic. Maybe I can get her to make a couple of other items here for the family. And then once Xavier is home, which I think actually Xavier might be home, I'm going to get her to make a little bit of bread. And when Xavier gets home, I'll probably have Xavier come in and age up Ulveva. That way he can obviously be a part of that. I want him to celebrate his daughter's birthday. Obviously he was hoping for a son. I think he's still hoping for a son, and at some point in this episode we will be having them try for another little one, because it is time for them to try for another little one. Because he has high hopes for wanting a son, needing a son, really, because soon Ada will be having a birthday and will be aging up to a child, and he's not sure if Ada is going to survive that birthday. And so he's like, you know, I definitely need a backup plan. And it's horrible to have to think that way, but you know, the reality is that Xavier has lost a lot of children, and he understands that this is the way it works, and unfortunately, he just knows that sometimes children die. So it is Ascension Day, and for that, we do need to do some baking, and we also need to go to a holiday ceremony. As you can see, Makena is doing lots of cooking, so I think she's probably already met that baking portion of her holiday. So I think she's well on her way for that, but I am going to need to get them all to kind of meet these different goals, and then we are going to need to come on out and take them to a holiday ceremony as well. But Xavier's going to head on in here. We are going to age up Ulveva. He's just going to change her diaper here, and then we'll get her aged up into an infant. I do want her to go ahead and have her birthday here. Let's just go ahead and get some things cleaned up. Then we will celebrate her becoming an infant here, which I think will be great. I do think that everyone is feeling... Oh, she made that platter. Okay, that's great. I do think she needs to clean up a little bit. around the house here because there are things kind of everywhere. But I do think that everyone is really excited and relieved about the fact that Ulveva not only was able to survive the labor, but the fact that she is aging up to an infant successfully, and you know that she's made it this far. You know, with children, the risk of death is so high that everyone kind of worries, but we know that, you know, for now she's safe, and so everyone's kind of breathing a sigh of relief about that, which is, you know, really good. I'm really glad about that, and I think they all are as well. Why don't you get over in here and actually go over and maybe, what are you gonna make? She clearly didn't meet that oh, she did meet the baking. I don't know what I'm trying to get her to make. But, oh, they need a grand meal, maybe. So maybe I'm looking for a grand meal. I think that's what it is. They need a grand meal, so I'm gonna have her make a grand meal. Alright, so I'll get her in here. She's gonna make this grand meal option for them, and we'll get that cooking up. And as you can see, Xavier's just kind of running around cleaning the house. But I really would like for him to maybe get himself a bite to eat. He's starting to feel a little bit hungry. So Makena, is going to get in here and make this grand meal. Of course, by the time the grand meal is done, I think everyone is kind of going to just be filled up on the cheese and the meat. But she does need to make a grand meal for this holiday. So she's going to go ahead and get started on making that. And then we will have to send everyone off to the holiday ceremony as well. Obviously, Ada and Ulveva won't be able to go to that, but, you know, we'll be able to send Can off with the parents at the very least for that, and they'll be able to meet that goal. Okay, so Makena is just finishing up this grand meal here. We are going to go ahead and have Xavier go on into the bedroom here and age up Ulveva and get her aged up to an infant, and then we are going to jump on into Cass with her, and we will be able to give her her makeover. She is a Gemini, which is fantastic. We love that for her. So happy birthday, Ulveva. She is going to be a calm infant. We love that. And she has red hair like her daddy. So let's go ahead and we will let them continue on with making this meal. There is that roast chicken that she made. We absolutely love that. She's going to go ahead and call everyone to the grand meal. Basically, we want everyone coming to the grand meal for this holiday, for Ascension Day. I don't really think anyone is hungry, but for the goal to be met, she does need everyone to come and participate in the grand meal. So they are going to go ahead and participate in this grand meal together, and then we will go ahead and jump into Cass, and we will give Ulveva her makeover and see what she is going to look like as an infant. So look at them. They're all like, oh, this is delicious. And she's like, I know. And they're like, we weren't really all that hungry. And Makena's like, I realize that. It was probably poor timing on my part. And Xavier's like, yes, maybe, but it's still divine. And she's like, I really appreciate that. So I'm going to cue it for Ada to go ahead and go to the bathroom, and let's hop into Cass and see Ulveva. Alright, now that we have made it back into the game, we are going to just let them finish up this meal. We're going to let Ada go to the washroom there. And then we are going to go ahead and send everyone off to their holiday ceremony, because they do need to go ahead and attend that holiday ceremony. They have been able to mark off some of their holiday goals here, which is fantastic. As you can see, Can is really feeling happy about this holiday. She's feeling pretty playful, and she's like, that was an amazing meal. And Makena's like, yeah, that's what happens when you eat real food and not just honey. And Can's like thinking to herself, I don't know why she has to be like that. But we are going to go ahead and We're going to get them all ready to head off to the church ceremony. I think that Xavier went in there and went to lay down to go to sleep, but I do want them to go to the ceremony. I really do. He did go lay down. Well, I'll be. All right. Well, he went to take himself a little bit of a nap. I'm going to send Can to the washroom outside because Xavier's in there laying down and I don't want her to be embarrassed. And I'm going to go ahead and queue up for them to go ahead and go off to that ceremony. I know that he's getting a little bit of sleep right now, but I do want them to be able to get credit for this ceremony and for this day and for these goals. And one of the major things that they need to do is to attend the holiday ceremony, and I do think that is pretty important. That is something that we definitely will get them doing. Okay, we need to clean this coop and collect the eggs, so I will queue up for Can to do that. And she still can't get some honey, so maybe I can get Makena to come out and get the honey, and then we will, when she's done with that, go ahead and prepare for them to can harvest this prairie grass. I'm just trying to kill a little bit of time so that Xavier can get a little bit of a nap in, but then they are going to have to head off to the ceremony. Like, she's trying to be, a little bit considerate and let him get a nap in because she realizes that he was up really, really early going out hunting. But also she's like thinking we have to get ourselves to the ceremony because that's what good peasants would do. All right. And then also we need to process the honey that's in her inventory. So she has a lot of things that she is currently working on. The garden needs to be tended to. So she is just kind of picking up the slack where Xavier is lacking, so to speak, because he really kind of is just lacking in things, being that he's in there just getting himself a little bit of rest. But it would seem that Ulveva has had her first visitor because, oh my goodness, it is the Trader Jacques. Okay, that means that we are going to be able to sell all of that honey and stuff. So I'm going to pull some things out of the fridge that we are going to sell. So we've got some wine, we have some jams, and we have some honey. And I want to sell several of those things. So we'll put those things in to Makena's inventory, and then we're going to sell them to Trader Jacques. And we're going to see what all of the things that I put into her inventory that we're actually able to sell. I'm not sure if we'll be able to sell everything, but I am going to put some different things in her inventory and just see if they're able to be sold. And if they are, great. And if they're not, then we'll know for next time. But I definitely want to hopefully get all of this honey sold. So I'm hoping that that is something that we will be able to sell. So I will go ahead and I think that's all I'll grab. So let's go ahead and have her go over to Trader Jacques. We're going to have her talk to him, and then she will ask him if she can sell some things to him. And then once we sell our items that we can sell, we'll also purchase from him, and we'll find out what he's selling. And hopefully he's selling some different items that we can purchase for our garden. I'm hoping that he has some different things that we don't currently have planted that we'll be able to plant that we need for our garden that we're lacking. So that will be fantastic if that's the case, because I really do want to get our garden stocked up here. So yeah, I think that will be really important. All right, so finish with the bug spraying and get yourself over there to him so that you can get those items sold. All right, so she's going to tell him that she wants to sell to him. We are going to sell these jams, and we're going to sell the blueberry jam, blackberry jam. We're going to sell this honey, and we're going to sell the raspberry jam and this honey and all of these honeys. Okay, so we couldn't sell the wine to him. Good to know. All right, so the wine can't be sold to him. So I guess we'll just have to keep the wine. We'll just put it in the fridge and they'll just have to drink it. Or we could sell the wine out of our inventory, or they'll just have to drink the wine. That'll be fine. So she has sold all of those things. Now we're going to go ahead and look and see what he has for sale. And we're going to purchase some items from him. And hopefully he has some things that we need. So I'm just going to look on what we can currently plant for now, and I'm going to purchase some items really quickly, and then we will carry on. Okay, so I have finished purchasing everything that I need, and we are now going to get her planting the things that need to be planted. Trader Jacques, thank you so much for coming. We appreciate that so much. I'm going to go ahead and put everything over where they need to go in their respective plots. Everything on the left side here is our summer plants. Everything on the right side are our spring plants. And then in the middle will kind of be, I guess, a mixture of the two. Our overflow section, per se, is what I'm going to do. And we are going to love that. So I'm going to go ahead and put everything down, and we'll get her to start planting. And then once she's done planting everything, by that point, Xavier should be up, which, yes, he is. And maybe he can actually even help with the planting. That would be nice. But then we are going to head out to our holiday ceremony after that, and we will participate in the holiday ceremony. Why are you naked? Oh my goodness. Okay, you should not be showering, and this is not okay. This is not acceptable behavior at all. I mean, we have children, and he's like, has no care in the world. He's just, doing his thing. Oh my goodness. I don't understand. All right, so I have gotten some really good things here that we can plant, and it will really help us as far as the things that we need for our garden and for our home and for our meals. I absolutely love it, and it is all of the things that are off our farming key code on the spreadsheet, which is fantastic. I am using the mod, the Brazen Lotus mod. They're harvestables, and those are some of the things that I'm doing for our gardening. So I absolutely love that. And we are going to be seeing that in our gameplay here. So I'm going to just sell a little bit of this wine here, and we got 9,000 for that. Okay, I won't be selling any more of the wine. I was going to look into selling the wine in our inventory, but that's a little bit too much. So I think I'll just put the wine in the fridge and they can just drink it, because I think if I sell the wine out of our inventory, we'll just be making way too much money, and I don't think that's realistic. So I'm just going to put the wine back in the fridge, and they'll just be able to drink the wine. I don't even know where all this wine came from. It must have just been in this house. It's fine. So, yeah. Anyway, she also has still this honey that she needs to filter. So we do need to get her to do that. And yeah, so we'll have to get her to filter this honey when she's done with the garden. But we really do need to get them to travel to the holiday ceremony. So let's go ahead and have them go and travel to the holiday ceremony. They're going to go and they're going to do that really quickly so that they can meet that goal for the Ascension Day. And once they get back, we will go ahead and continue on with the things that they need to do. And it is officially summer. We love that. So I'll see you when they return from their holiday ceremony. Okay, so we are back from the holiday ceremony. As you can see, Makena is right back in the garden. She is weeding and she is taking care of finishing up what she had been doing before she left for the holiday ceremony. When she is done with this, I am going to have her finish up with the things that she needs to do. We also need to take care of the little one. So I may have Xavier come in here and just take care of Ulveva and maybe put her upstairs in her crib and things of that nature, because as you can see, Makena is really, really hard at work in the garden. So I'm going to have Xavier just kind of tend to the children here a little bit. But Makena is just really hard at work with tending to the house chores. Also, it looks like our laundry is dry, so I'm going to have Xavier help with that. It's generally stuff that obviously Makena would work on, but they've kind of switched roles currently right now. You know, he would sometimes be outside working on the garden and she would be inside with the children and the house chores. And right now they've just switched roles. So I don't know. She really is tending to the garden and enjoying doing that. And so I'm just letting her do what she's enjoying doing. So he's going to do a little bit of the laundry here and help her out with that. She's just pressing a little bit or filtering a little bit of this honey, and we're going to fill those jars up. And then it looks like we have all three of the children in bed getting a little bit of rest. So we love that. The parents don't seem really all that tired at all. So maybe once they are done with their chores, maybe they can try for a baby or something like that. I'm not really sure if they want to do that, but we may have them try for a little one. So he's going to fill up this water and add some flowers to it. And then I'm going to have him go ahead and start another load of laundry. And that will be perfect because we clearly need to get a little bit more wash done. All right, so we finally got that honey done. We're going to go ahead and fill the jars up of honey. And then we'll have her put that in the fridge as well. He's just doing a little bit of the wash and then he'll hang that on the line. Our garden is looking fantastic. We got everything that needed to be planted, and it's looking wonderful. The harvest came through obviously because summer hit, and so all of the plants that didn't get harvested, the produce just kind of fell off onto the ground, and so we gathered that up and took it in and put it in the fridge. We do need to find out what our summer season is going to bring us as far as poor soil, great soil, bugs, or blight season. So we will have to roll for that at some point. But yeah, we have entered into summer officially, and I am, really excited about a new season and seeing what is going to happen for the summer season. And I think that anytime we enter into a new season, it's really nice to see what's going to happen with our family. Obviously, we'll be getting new crops, which is going to be great. But it does look like Xavier is going to head himself off after he's finished with the laundry here. And he's going to attend a archery competition and see if he can possibly win some money for the family. He does have a little bit of archery skill. It's not anything major, trust me. He's only at like a level 3, maybe a 4 if he's lucky. So the likelihood that he's going to actually win any money for the family is probably slim, but he's going to try. So I will see you when he gets back from the archery competition, and we'll see how it goes. So Xavier is still away at the archery competition, but Makena has gotten up from her sleep and has woken up Ulveva and has decided that she needs to give her a little bit of a feed. So we are just going to take care of Ulveva here and give her a little bit of a breastfeed. Ulveva is feeling really, really angry, and I mean, I guess I would be angry too if I was constantly laying in the floor. So we're going to go ahead and just take care of her a little bit, give her a bit of a feed, and then we'll probably go ahead and take her up and put her in her crib upstairs with the other little ones and let them, spend some time together in their bedroom. I don't know how Ada's going to feel about that, sharing his room with an infant that's constantly going to be crying, but that's where the children belong, is upstairs in the loft, and so that's where she'll be taking her. Once she's done with taking care of Ulveva, we are going to have Makena go ahead and take care of some of the animals here. It's been a while since they have been bottle fed, so we will feed the goats and the sheep, and probably even maybe start trying to get them sheared and or milked, because honestly it's been a little while since anyone has tended to the animals. Can't really help out with that, so it's up to the parents, and the parents have been dealing with hunting and the laundry and the garden and the baby and all kinds of things, cooking. So they've just not been dealing with the animals, and the animals have been kind of neglected. So we do want to make sure that the animals aren't neglected, that they are taken care of. So I am going to have Makena just go ahead and take care of, feeding them, and if they need to be sheared or milked, she'll probably look into doing that as well. And then once Xavier gets home, there's a good possibility that he could maybe even potentially help her take care of some of these animals, if he is feeling up to it, because I'm not really sure how his needs are going to be with him being gone away doing the archery competition. He, there's no telling how his needs are going to be, so we'll just have to see how it goes. But she's going to go ahead and feed these babies here and see how, we're going to do with getting them fed. Some of them, it looks like, are gonna lay down and go to sleep, and so they're gonna miss a meal, like Cloud there. Cloud's like, nope, I'm gonna take a nap, you can't feed me. Well, Cloud, it's your turn to be fed. And Cloud's like, no, I want to sleep. Okay, well, that's fine, we'll go and we'll feed Grumpy, it'll be fine. And Grumpy also doesn't want to be fed, so we will feed Godzilla. It's perfectly fine. All right, well, now Grumpy's back. Okay, Grumpy, do you want to be fed? Let's feed Grumpy. Nope, Grumpy laid back down. Okay, well, I give up. These animals are something else. Alright, so she has fed who she could feed. Xavier is home from the archery competition. His needs, we'll have to check and see how he's doing. Actually, his needs are pretty good. He's just come in and he started cleaning right away. Maybe, though, he could stand for a little bit of a bite to eat, so I'm going to get him to grab a serving here. They can sit down and have a little bit of food together. She's like, how did the archery competition go? And he says, I lost. She's like, oh, my skill's just not where it needs to be. Well, honey, you can always continue practicing. I realize that, but I was really hoping I could win us some money. And she says, practice, practice, practice. You're going to get better as time goes on, and before you know it, you'll be winning them all, Xavier. And he's like, thanks so much for that vote of confidence. I really appreciate everything and all of your support and your faith in me. And she's like, well, of course I have faith in you. So these two have such a great friendship, and, we're going to go ahead now and roll for our spring season, or summer season, I'm sorry. And it looks like we rolled a 2, which does mean we get great soil. I am thrilled about that. So I am just going to go ahead and update our season in our lot trait and get that all updated. So let's go ahead and update our lot trait to great soil. And I think right now we have poor soil, so I'll remove the poor soil and I will give us great soil, which is going to be fantastic. I'm also going to go ahead and give us this harvest tax lot trait, because I think that would be great for us to have, being that we are a peasant family. And so I think we would pay a harvest tax, and then we will go ahead and do great soil, and we will take away the poor soil, and we will be able to do so much better in our summer season because we're going to have great soil. Our plants are going to do so much better this season than we were able to do in the spring, because we'll have a better soil output. So I think that's going to be fantastic for our family. So we'll just finish getting that all squared away here, and then we are going to just continue on. As we know, we do need to get them to try for a little one at some point, but right now they're feeling pretty tired. So I'm going to let everyone head on off to bed and get a little bit of sleep, and I will see you in the morning when they wake. All right, so Can is up. She's just getting a little bit of painting done. As we know, she really enjoys working on her painting skill. She is starting to get really, really good at her painting. I'm also going to get her to breed a frog here. She has quite a collection of frogs going on, and after she is done with her painting, she does have a cross stitch in her inventory that she needs to finish, so I am just going to have her work on that as well. It does seem that she has some honey in her inventory that she needs to filter as well, so she has some things that she really does need to work on. Honestly, I hate it when she doesn't finish a painting fully in one sitting, because then she can't go back to it and finish it. She has to scrap it. So that's really, really annoying for me. So now this painting that she started, we've just lost money on, and she can't finish it. We have to scrap it now. So I'm not thrilled about it. But yeah, we're going to go ahead and we're going to have to throw that painting away. And whatever. It is what it is, I guess. But it is October of 1394, and we do have a historical fact to go over. And this historical fact says, Richard II was the first reigning monarch to visit Ireland since John. He defeated the Irish chieftains in the southeast, and 80 were forced to pay homage. Richard attempted to create a new alliance between the English crown and the Gaelic Irish by recognizing their grievances against absentee Anglo-Irish landowners. He left in 1395. He returned 4 years later, but this expedition was cut short by a revolt in England, leaving long-term issues of English rule in Ireland unresolved. So that is the history for October 1394 to May 1395. And I do find these historical tidbits pretty interesting, so I just wanted to share that with you for this period of time. So that being said, we are going to continue on. It does look like Makena has gone out and she's decided to practice some archery. She is hilarious how she just likes to go and do that. She's just like, I realize that this is Xavier's thing, but that doesn't mean that I can't do it too. And you know what, Makena? It so doesn't. If that's what you want to do, then you do it. You do you, girl. You do you. So it is time for them to try for a baby. It really is. They do need to basically, well, try for another baby. So I am going to have Xavier approach her and just basically say to her, you know, I realize that Ulveva is only an infant, but you know, we really do need to try for a little one. You know, next year Ada is going to be having a birthday, and it's not a guarantee that he's going to survive. And I really do want us to have the potential for another child and a potential heir. And I think Makena is going to be on board for that. She understands the seriousness of a need for sons. And so she's going to agree to try for a little one. She has ignored his request right this second because she's come up here to watch Ulveva. But I am going to have her go on down and go. She's going through a phase. Makena, we do not have time for you to go through a phase. Go downstairs and have a woohoo with your husband. Like, honestly, do not argue with me. Just go do what you're told. So go downstairs and try for a baby with Xavier. She's like, okay. Yeah. Go do it. All right, so they're going to go and they're going to try for a baby. I think if their relationship were a little bit closer, they would probably autonomously do these things because I do have that setting set on my gameplay. But again, they're just not in love. See, they have a difficult family dynamic. That's what I was saying. They're friends, but the love is just not there. And she can feel that. Like, she knows that he just married her because he had to marry someone. She knows that, like, she's not the love of his life. They married on a friendship basis and on a I need to have children basis. And she can feel that. And they have a difficult dynamic. Is she going to go and woohoo with him and try for a baby? Yes, because that is her wifely duty, and she knows that. But they have a difficult family dynamic, and she can feel that they don't have the love that, you know, other couples have, or that she maybe one day wanted. Do they have a great friendship? Of course they do. Is there a little bit of love there? I think there's a friendly love there, but it's not the romantic love that, you know, she thought there was going to be. And it's just, it makes for a bit of a strained relationship, I think. And so, yeah, there's that. So they have tried for a baby. Can is in there eating, and oh my God, she's eating something other than honey. Quick, call the presses. I am going to go ahead, and we are hopeful for a little one. I hope that Makena is going to be expecting. I will not be doing a pregnancy test, but if we click on the potty, hopefully there will be a throw up option, and we will be able to have ourselves a little one. She's gone upstairs to play. I mean, Makena is a teenager. It doesn't surprise me that she goes upstairs and she plays. It is what it is. But yeah, and plus she's going through a phase right now, so there's that. But Xavier is really, really hopeful that something's going to come of that try for baby experience, and that she is going to end up pregnant. And I also hope for that. I am going to get him out here to practice a little bit more archery. We definitely need to get that skill up. I would like for at some point him to be able to obviously start winning some competitions. And I am going to get Makena to go ahead and just get herself a little bit of a bite to eat. I'm going to get Ada to also get himself a bite to eat here. But I am going to go ahead and leave this episode here. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you are notified when new episodes go live in the future. And I will see you guys in episode 1395, where we will be finding out if Makena is pregnant, and we will be going through a vampire hunt and having several more birthdays. And until next time, I'm going to go ahead and fly for now. Bye, Ravens.